Hi, I'm Rajiv, and I'm here with Mikey Putnam, who is the founder of Putnam Designs. Mikey makes incredible flower arrangements, but today he's going to show us how he puts his own spin on something very old, a pomander. Traditionally, pomanders are made around the holidays. They have a very rich history going all the way back to the Middle Ages. At some point in time, what we sort of know as a pomander today is a citrus fruit, a lemon or an orange, which in the 18th century was a very special thing that was usually only consumed at Christmas time, and that would be studded with iconically cloves, which were also expensive at the time. And then this thing studded with cloves would dry out and would last indefinitely and would smell great. So it was a precious little thing. But Mikey, you, as you do with your flower arrangements, you take these very traditional things and then you kind of create your own little world with them. So I'm fascinated to see how you make a pomander with what we have laid out here.
Yeah, so we still have the base of a traditional pomander.
Okay.
We have our citrus and we have our cloves, but we're gonna add other elements to this to make it more contemporary. So you see we have a lot of different varieties of citrus here. We have grapefruits, we have oranges, blood oranges, limes, pomelo, tangerines. It's just to showcase that you can use any type of citrus fruit in this. Depending on size, depending on how long you want to last, a lime will last a very, very long time, or something a little bit larger or softer like a tangerine is not gonna last as long.
Okay.
You'll still get life out of it, but it's not gonna last as long as something a little bit tighter with a thicker rind. Okay? You can also use, if it's, say it's just for a dinner, like one night, maybe 2 nights, you can use softer fruit too.
Really?
You could use pears if you wanted to, but it's only gonna last a night or so. So anything softer, it's just more decorative for a quick moment. So dinner party, whatnot. So these are fruits, but one of the bases of what we're gonna be using are these pins. Some people call them a boutonniere pin. You can call it whatever you want, but it's basically just a pin with a stud on the back. We have pearl pins, these little faceted crystal pins, and also just plain pins. And these are good for stuff that you're gonna pin in where you don't wanna see the end.
Okay, so these pins have a very visible head intentionally.
Yeah, so those will be decorative, used in a decorative way.
So that we see the heads, but then you also use pins that kind of disappear.
Yep,
Okay.
if we wanna hide it. So we're gonna be using a mix of pins, spices, our cloves, and then we also have an array of different ribbons. And then I also wanted to bring in dried flowers if you wanted something that's a little more botanical leaning. So we can incorporate dried flowers with our ribbons and our spices to create something a little more dynamic and interesting.
Wow, never would have thought of putting a dried flower into
In
a
a
pomander,
pomander.
but
Right.
I can see the potential. Where are we right now?
We are on 28th Street, New York.
This specific
Yes, so
room is everything's dried in here.
everything in here is dried.
These caught my eye.
Yes.
What do you think of these?
So I think that these could work
Yeah.
for a larger fruit.
You could use this in, say, a pomegranate.
Okay.
Right? Something bigger.
So I think this will definitely work, and it has enough width that you can actually pin through it with a longer pin. Another option is this dried gomphrena. I love the color of this one, and I love the color of this sort of peachy red.
Oh, look at these.
I know.
Are
they're
these
like
fake?
tiny little poppy pods. No, they're real. They're so pretty, right? But I feel like a pin would just break these in half.
Oh, you want to put the pin through the head of it.
So that's how we're gonna adhere it
Okay.
in, yeah. Although, we could take these and use the steak.
And stick it
I
in.
actually like it, yeah. The steak would actually work in citrus as well, because it has a nice strong stick.
Okay.
So I feel like these could actually be really fun. And I think we should get some of this straw flower.
Oh, yeah.
I love this ivory,
Yeah.
this sort of ivory cream. I also love this white, this like really sort of stark snow white color. And then maybe some pink, and then I feel like we have a pretty good
Variety.
base, yeah.
Okay.
And you can tell everything here doesn't feel
locked into a specific season or holiday.
Yeah.
We want this to be associated with sort of any season.
It's holiday neutral.
Holiday neutral, yeah.
So we have dried flowers that I think could be fun with some of our warmer ribbons. So to start, we're gonna grab, let's do oranges.
Okay, these are beautiful blood oranges.
Yeah, I love this sort of rosy color combination. It's like a little dark burgundy, so pretty. And the first thing that I wanna show you is just your basic clove install, okay? And we're gonna wanna think of a pattern. You can even, if you wanted to, do something more intricate, you could use a pen and draw your pattern on, but in this case, we'll just do something simple, a simple cross. And the great thing about cloves is that they do have a little tapered end, so it's really easy to just push right into the rind.
Now this is sort of the classic Victorian pomander.
Yes. So you can create patterns as intricate or as simple as you want. Oh, they smell incredible.
The reason why we associate these spices with the holidays is because it's the only time of year that certain people would splurge to buy a few cloves or a little bit of cinnamon, because it was a special time of year. I mean, today, we don't even realize that because everything is so readily available at our fingertips and it's fairly inexpensive, but there was a time when spices were actually kept under lock and key.
Okay. So one technique, simple pattern made with a clove.
Yep.
Okay. Now I'll show you how we can play with ribbon. Depending on where you want your ribbon placed,
Yep.
we just take our pen, whatever pen. In this case, we could try maybe a decorative pen. So we want to do it central, right? We just hear this in with our pen. Another thing we can do if you want to add multiple ribbons, we can just continue to go over the spot that we've already placed so we don't have any loose ends.
So they're all emanating from the same point.
From the same point, and
Okay.
they're just going to be layered over one another. And this is how you would do just simple ribbon wrap. Okay, and then you'll just do the same on the other side. You can get more decorative with it. You can add other pins, like these pearls are nice as a decorative touch. You can also mix pearls into your cloves
Oh, like in between.
in between.
I didn't even know these pins existed.
Yeah, so in the wedding world, these are used to fasten ribbon around bouquets and also used for boutonnieres. You can see here,
Oh, beautiful.
just alternating pearls. Another technique is to pin in flowers into our,
And this is what I want to see, because when you were explaining this, I couldn't envision what you meant.
you're just gonna find a pin and you're just gonna push it through.
You're using
Your
one of
flower.
these invisible pins.
Yep.
Okay.
We're
Right
just
through
gonna-
the center of the flower.
Right through the center,
Yeah.
and then if you want to, you can just pin it right in.
Wow.
Something this big is better, the larger fruit. Say a grapefruit or even the pomelo, if you're doing a bigger pattern. Obviously you're not gonna hang this, so if I were to do something in this, I'd probably arrange it in a way to where it's not moving, it's sitting on the table like this, okay? So you can go in and you can pin bigger flowers in and make a bigger pattern on here with ribbon and flowers. But these are kind of the basics to create a more botanical inspired pomander using dried products, spices, pins, and ribbon.
So essentially, the basic technique of affixing anything to the piece of citrus is by pinning.
Yep,
Either-
pinning, yep. Or unless it's a clove that can go in on its own. Also, these poppy pods, these have a strong enough stem that they can actually pop in on their own. Also, again, would be really, really good for a bigger fruit because they do stick
Right.
out a bit. But you could do, this adds depth if you're trying to create depth with your pomander. So you could have these stick out.
Okay. Shall we just go for it then?
Should we just go make one?
Let's go for
Yeah.
it.
Y'all are good.
You inspired me. You said something and I was like, that's what I want to do. So I know what I would like to do.
You're gonna use this?
I'm going to use this.
Great.
Let me pick one. The other thing about this is, Mikey and I discussed this, really look at your fruit. Like, every pomelo is not the same. Every orange
Yeah,
isn't the
they're all
same.
different.
So if you're going to make something, turn it around and look at the color of it, especially something big like this, because if this is going to sit as part of your centerpiece on your holiday table, there's going to be people all around it, and they're going to see all sides of it. So
Yeah.
what's wonderful is that I do have a choice.
You can choose.
So I'm going to choose
one of 3.
from the 3. I'm going to pick this one because
This one's beautiful.
It's really sort of blemish free, and it's also very yellow.
Great.
Okay.
I'm going to choose one of these grapefruits here.
Okay.
Love the color of this.
And then may I have the flowers, please?
Yes, you may. Is there a ribbon that you want to use?
Yes, please.
I think I'm going to do this crazy blue. And then when we finish these, I'll show you how we can make a hoop.
Okay, and we don't have to think about the hoop now. We can do it at the end.
I'm going to show you how to do a simple hoop so that you can hang this if you want.
Okay.
Okay. So basically layer this over. I'm just going to pin this in. And then for extra support, we're just going to go around. Obviously, there are a million different ways that you can make a hoop, but I find this way to be the sturdiest. And then we'll just finish it off just like we did our little test ribbon. Right. And then you can hang this on a tree.
Beautiful.
If you want to turn this into an ornament, you can hang it anywhere. Really.
Okay.
It doesn't necessarily have to be for Christmas. It can be for any holiday, any occasion.
You know, I used to make these as a teenager because I was working at a place called Black Creek Pioneer Village, and we did sort of crafts that were historically appropriate for the time period. So we would make pomanders, and I would make pomanders and hang them in my closet at home.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like it was a really nice thing to open.
How'd
the
you
closet.
hang them?
I can't remember. I just used string.
Just like a little string.
Like
Yeah.
string tighter.
The raffia works really
Oh,
nice.
that's really nice.
As well too, if you want to pin this in.
Yeah.
Or do something a little more natural.
Okay.
Great. Okay. Let's do it.
Let's do this. So now we're gonna make pomanders, and you're gonna watch. I kind of want to use that blue ribbon too.
The blue's fun, right? I love the contrast of the blue with these
Yes.
warm citrus tones.
Look at that.
Yeah, I love it. If you need an angle, you can fold your ribbon like this, and you can just pin in right on top, and then you get your 90-degree angle. We're just
I cut my ribbon too short. Just like a 1/4 inch too short.
I feel like we're like kids doing crafts right now.
Well, I was gonna say, I think this would be a really nice thing to do with kids, because it's pretty safe, right?
Yeah, maybe just not the needles, but
For some reason, it's very satisfying pushing pins into citrus fruit.
is it the pop?
I don't know. It's sort of like, I guess, the same sensation as putting pins into a voodoo doll.
It's like therapy. Now I'm gonna just start adding some cloves.
In exactly the right spot to make it aesthetically pleasing.
Yes.
Right in the heart. Do you get commissions to make these?
No. So one thing about me, I like to keep anything holiday related
Yep.
personal to myself
Oh, really?
or friends or family. That's it. I don't actually do Christmas trees, holiday decor
For hire.
for hire. Yeah. But I love doing it for myself.
Have people asked?
They have.
And you say no?
It's because it's something that's so like special to me that I
Yes.
don't want to ruin it, and I don't want Christmas to become work.
Yeah.
So I just keep it to myself.
I think that's really smart. And for anyone out there that is thinking of taking a passion they have that's artistic and that needs to be fueled from an emotional place, you have to set boundaries before you start
Absolutely.
going out there in the business world. When I was told that I should take calligraphy and make it a business, it was by someone in the wedding industry, and she said, there aren't a lot of people doing calligraphy and you could probably make a very good living. I hesitated because I loved calligraphy.
Yeah.
And I thought, if I turn this into a business, am I gonna start to hate it?
Yeah.
And I realized that the only reason I would start to hate it is if I was doing things that I didn't want to do. So I made a restriction for myself. I said, okay, you're gonna start this small business and you're gonna do calligraphy, but anytime there's a job that you're not inspired by, that you think, I don't want to do this, you're gonna say no. But
It's hard though to set those boundaries.
It's really hard, but I
Yeah.
stuck with it, and that, like, it ended up really working because all the work that I did, I loved, and it showed in the work, and it created a portfolio that after.
Do you still do any calligraphy?
I do, and I still stick with that. I still stick with that principle because
Well,
it
that was me at Christmas.
yeah,
Literally won't do it because it's a time of year that I cherish. That's so personal to me.
yeah. That looks beautiful.
It's really fun. They can really do anything with these. You
Yeah.
know, again, it's like painting with it's or embroidery or something. It's like using a different medium to create pattern and design.
So these can be hung, like hung on a tree or hung up like, I've seen them hung in a doorway or hung
Yeah.
up on the mantle.
Yeah.
They can be placed on a table as as part of a centerpiece or an arrangement.
Yeah.
Are there any other?
I feel like the most common that I see is just people have a beautiful decorative bowl. They just fill them with orange pomanders.
Okay.
That's like the most common, but really you can do anything with them. I love the idea of creating small ones with limes or tangerines or lemons and hanging them on your tree. To me, that's really fun.
As the ornaments.
As the ornaments, yeah.
Yes. I'm gonna do a row.
I love it. I love it.
This is very meditative.
Right? It's like a favorite holiday tradition. Just sit around, listen to music, have a few drinks,
Aw.
and just do this for a few hours. They're really good gifts to do like a small basket. You chose the two most difficult things.
Always. What instrument do you want to learn how to play? The harp. There's so many subtle variations in the colors of these straw flowers. And like side by side, those
it's,
look
like, perfect.
so beautiful together,
I mean, the center of this is that.
which is what you do in your flower arrangements.
Yeah.
Like the subtle transitions of color.
It's all about a transition of color.
And that is something that I think takes a while to learn.
It does.
Like to learn how to see,
It takes
it's not
practice.
easy.
So now I feel like you could add even some more decorative detailing
Okay.
around. Like just add, I think just like more embellishment.
Question. How would you affix the star anise to the pomander?
Okay, so what you're gonna do, because you can't push it through the center,
Yes?
we're gonna take our needle, we're just gonna wedge it in on two sides.
Oh.
Okay? Like this. We're just gonna wedge it in nice and tight against the spice. So
Very
where do you wanna put this?
I would like to put a row of star anise this way, horizontally.
Okay. And now it's wedged in. So you're just locking it in from three different points.
Okay. Oh, I love that.
That looks great.
Thank you.
I love it. It smells so good.
You can see a trend starting.
The pomander trend.
The pomander trend of 2024, the holiday season. There.
So cute. I love it.
Okay.
It's so fun. It's so festive.
Anything else? I mean, I feel like it would be gilding
Yeah.
the lily at this point.
And it's almost like a Fabergé egg,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Thank you. This
Yes.
was so unexpected. Like I didn't know what we were going to be making, but seeing these now, I feel like people will really be inspired to
Yeah.
try it themselves. So again, thank you so much, Mikey, for having us
God, thank you
in
for
your
having
studio
me.
here in Williamsburg, and
Yeah.
for sharing one of your very special techniques, which is not commercial,
No.
which you reserve for yourself, for the people you
Yes.
care about for the holidays. It's been so much fun.
Yeah. Thank you.